Hello True Believer, today we're going to go through Criterion D of your cable protector assignment. So as always, we're going to start with the strands for 7 and 8. So we'll go through the strands 1, 2, 3 and 4 with that. And we'll go through a little bit detail on what's sort of expected for making your cable protector. So strand 1, describe detailed and relevant testing methods that are explained clearly and will generate accurate data which will correctly measure the success of the cable protector via the use of surveys and self-reflections. Strand 2 is the success of the cable protector is explained using data from authentic testing. Strand 3 is then the improvements the cable protector described. And strand 4 is write a letter to your direct supervisor extensively describing the impact of your cable protector on the target audience and why it will assist the company's profitability. So the general template that you should be following is having the survey questions, then the response to the survey, the self-tests, the analysis of the findings that you found, any improvements, and then finally a letter to your direct supervisor listing all the data that you collected. So some hints, when you create your survey to gather the data, make sure you ask at least 3 classmates to get their opinion of your cable protector. You should include a mixture of open and closed questions. Compare and contrast between the design in TINKERCAD and the 3D print. Look for what went well and what didn't go so well that you can improve on. Use either Google Forms or a Word document to create the surveys. I personally would recommend using the Google Forms. When you're creating the basic testing table, the table is what we use in industry, so it's easy to organize and easy to understand. It also makes it easy to read compared to reading a whole heap of paragraphs of writing. So what happens is you have the test description here, describing what's going to happen, the expected result, what you want to occur, and then the actual result. So if it passes, it means that it matched that expected result. If it fails, it means it didn't quite get there, but then you describe what didn't go so well. So the data from testing is the actual results column from above. From this column, you'll be able to determine whether your cable protector was successful or not. For example, you might want to point out part of your cable protector was successful, maybe the way that it looks, but overall the cable protector failed because it didn't represent the way it should have looked in its final image when you 3D printed it. Make sure to analyze the data that you've collected in both the survey and the self-test. Clearly list improvements that you would like to build into your cable protector. If you're smart, you'll ask this question in your survey to get people's opinions of what you could have added to your cable protector. When you've published a cable protector online, look for feedback that other students give. Write your letter as honest as you can be to your direct supervisor. Make sure it is clear if the project has been a success or not. Back up your statements with the data that you've been collected. Try and make your letter as inspiring as possible. Remember, the structure matters. So remember, you're talking to your boss. So when you're doing your self-test, this is the easiest way of sort of filling it in. With the test description, so for example, test 1, the design of my eyes for the owl on my totem pole will look perfectly round because I use the sphere tool. So that's sort of the input that you've put together. The expected result is what happens when you print it. So when the model is 3D printed, the eyes will look perfectly round and have no rough edges. And then did it work? Yep, totally passed. Then in this, the wings on my eagle were placed perfectly attached to the main body. So that's what I intend to do in TINKERCAD. The expected result when the model is 3D printed, the wings will be attached to the main body without any issues. They should be able to handle a reasonable amount of force when it's applied to it. Then the actual result, it's failed. So the wings were not attached to the surface compared to the size and broke while being printed. So then describes sort of the issue, but then also gives you room to move if you want to look at improvements. So it describes detailed and relevant testing methods which generate accurate data to measure the success of the solution is what you're trying to do here. The test descriptions are things that you can control before you make the product. The expected results of what the outcomes that you expect to occur, and then the actual results can either pass or fail. If it passes, no description is needed as much as the expected result. If it fails, a description of what the failure is needed. Again, to do your Google Forms when you're doing your survey, log into the website listed here, click on personal, then up the top there's the blank document, so click on that, and then you've got all the different question types that you can ask. Like I said, the more variety that you add here instead of just doing multiple choice, the better the survey will be. You may also want to use sections for describing the different parts. You might want to do one section first of all on the survey for the TINKERCAD, and next section based off what you found with your design, and then a third section of your overall findings. Make sure you have a mixture of open and closed questions though when you're doing this. When you're gathering the data, it's really important when making this available to everyone that you change the restrictions. So click on the cog at the top right, then click on the red restrictor users just in Somerset College and trusted domain. Make sure that's unchecked so that anyone can access this survey. When sending out the survey, click on send and then change the link. So when you finish creating your 10 questions, click on the send. You can either email them directly or create a link to send the people that you want to respond. Make sure you have at least 3 people answer your survey and try and work in teams to answer each other's surveys. So again, brief overview of what you need to sort of fill in. So have your survey questions, then your responses to your survey, then your self-tests, then analysis of the findings that you've done, then any improvements that you want to do, and then finally a letter summarizing what you found. Okay. That's pretty much all the parts of the criterions that you need to fill in. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask your teachers, me, or send an email, and we hopefully look forward to seeing you some awesome cable protectors. Thank you.